26. But yeah, in the English is different, man. In the English, it starts at verse 8. All right, let me get a Hebrew Bible. Yeah, they divided it up differently with that one. All right, Shalom, Yasha'Allah, Shema, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Eloheinu, Yahweh Kad, Heal Israel, Yahweh, our power, Yahweh is one. Yahweh, Yahweh, Bashem HaMashiach, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh bless you in the name of Yahweh Shai. All right, happy day of Nicanor, aka Day of Judah, when we took off Edomite's head, was fighting against the children of Israel, got his head chopped off. So when people come against the children of Yasha'Allah, eventually heads will roll. Right, got his head chopped off. So we're dealing with the command of Yahweh when he's talking to Mashah. And that's where we get the first words of this particular Torah Parashah. We're in the first Torah Parashah of Tzav, which is Leviticus chapter 6, verse 1 through 11, dealing with the priest and dealing with the Drippin priests, all right, and dealing with all the sacrifices and getting rid of the ashes and the fat, all those things we're going to read about today. Again, we're in the second day now, the second Hebrew day, the second day of the 7-day week. We're in the 13th day of the 13th month, and we have 18 more days until we get to the first month of the year. All right. Now, Passover is going to be in 31 more evenings and 31 more afternoons. And then the Feast of Unleavened Bread is going to be in 32 more evenings. Okay. The Feast of Unleavened Bread, again, is going to be in 32 more nights. So get ready for that. So-called April 18th in the afternoon, and in the nighttime is going to be Passover and then Feast of Unleavened Bread, back to back on April 18th from the afternoon. And then at nighttime, that's when we're going to start the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right. So we're not going to be on here too long. We have a lot of things that my day is not over yet. I still have some things to do, even though it's about 12:08 out here in Mexico, West Coast. My reader is Amadia Nanai Shaman, which is we're doing Leviticus. Now, if you got a King James Bible, your verse is not going to be lined up with ours. We're using the Hebrew formatted Bibles, and we're going to do Leviticus chapter 6, verse 1 through 11. And your English Bible is going to be Leviticus chapter 6, verse 8, right? It's going to be Leviticus chapter 6, verse 8. So we're going to just go right started. I'm your brother, Parashah, Zaquan Shapat, Elder Judge Parashah, with Banya Yasha'Allah of Masharah Yasha'Allah, dealing with the house of Israel, diplomacy with the house of Israel and the diaspora, and also dealing with the house of Israel scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, particularly in the eastern hemisphere, and dealing with the calendar and dealing with the law. Also, between myself and Zaquan Shapat, Nathaniel, under his supervision, a lot of these things are getting done and put in motion. All right. So let's go ahead and start Leviticus chapter 6, verses 1 through 8. Let's go ahead and knock that out.
Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying,
okay, go ahead.
Command Aharon and his sons.
So these commandments are exclusively for the sons of Aaron, which are the priests. So when you call yourself a priest, there's a specific set of rules that the priest must go by. If you don't go by these rules, if you don't try to do these things, then you're not really doing a job of a priest. You're doing a job of something else. Go ahead.
Saying, this is the law of the elevation offering.
So elevation offering, also called the burnt offering, and right now, okay, what they call the olah. Okay, what they call the olah offering, or the Elah, or the Olah offering. All right, the Olah offering. Yeah, thanks to Malachi Maccabees, I can read this word right here now. Olah. He taught me some mnemonic devices. All right, so Olah. All right, so I give credit where credit is due. The Olah, yeah, like when you lay down in the bed, say, man, relax now. But then you get into that deep sleep. You lay in the bed, then you get a deep sleep. You're like, So this is Olah, all right. Then a vowel point on above the ayan, all right. The dot that's gonna give you the O sound, all right. So it says Ha'olah. Go ahead.
It is the elevation offering that stays on the flame.
That stays on the firewood. Go ahead.
On the altar all night until the morning. And the fire of the altar should remain aflame on it.
So all night, you got to keep this fire going. Go ahead.
The Kohen shall don his fitted linen tunic.
The what?
The Kohen.
What's the Kohen? What's that? The Kohen shall put on. All right. It says wa lashab hakahan. Okay. Madwa bam. All right. Or bad. So he puts on his garments. He puts on his linen clothes. All right. That's why I say he's dripping. So he put on his nice linen outfit. Then he put on his nice, that linen was like blue. He had purple. He had red. He had gold on it. All right. He had gold on the linen too. And then he had like the white linen, blue ephod. So he looking good. That's why I say the dripping Kohen, the dripping priest, the dripping Kohen. Everything nice, nice, nice. Most High like the nice stuff for his priest that he was dealing with in this wilderness during the construction of this tabernacle, and giving him the instructions on what he wants to have built and how. Go ahead.
And he shall don linen breeches on his flesh.
So he got on his linen pants, and he got on his linen tunic. Go ahead.
He shall separate the ash of what fire consumed to the elevation offering on the altar, and place it next to the altar.
So he takes the ashes and put them beside the altar with his linen pants on, and put on his linen outfit. So he clean up in his linen outfit. Go ahead.
He shall remove his garments and don other garments.
Now when he goes and remove the linen, the outfits in linen. All right, he got the linen outfit on, and he removes the ashes. So once he removes the ashes with his linen outfit on, then the Most High said, you know what? Go ahead and change your clothes, man. I need you to put on another linen outfit now. So now the Most High wants him to go put on another linen outfit because he just got finished handling all those ashes. So the linen outfit that he had on, that one probably get washed, get laundered, you know what I'm saying, and get fresh again, ready to get used. All right, go ahead.
And he shall remove the ash to outside the camp.
So he takes the ashes outside of the camp of the people. This is the job that the priest must do. He's the one handling the ashes from the burnt offerings, from the wood of the altar. Not an altar boy. That's something that the Catholic Church made up. All right, so he's the one that's handling all these different the waste, so to speak. Go ahead.
To a pure place.
He has to take it to a place that's clean, place with no dead bodies, no dead animals. He takes the ashes to a clean place. Go ahead.
The fire on the altar shall remain burning on it. It shall not be extinguished.
So the fire is supposed to be always burning on the altar. All right, always burning. The flame is always lit. Go ahead.
And the Kohen shall kindle wood upon it every morning.
So the Kohen, which is the priest, the Kohen, he puts that wood on it every morning to start a big new fresh fire. Go ahead.
He shall prepare the elevation offering upon it, and shall cause the fats of peace offerings to go up and smoke upon it.
Because remember, Olah means the to go up. All right, go ahead.
A permanent fire shall remain aflame on the altar. It shall not be extinguished. This is the law of the meal offering. The sons of Aharon shall bring it before Yahweh.
So now it tells you that when he puts the offering up, that he that offering is used, or that fire is used for the burnt offering, is used to offer up the fat. Now remember, the fat was not the fat from around the bones and the muscle of the animal. The fat was the stuff that came from the organs and the inside and the innards of the animal. Go ahead.
To the front of the altar, he shall separate from it with his 3 fingerful some of the fine flour of the meal offering, and some of the.
So he takes some of that. He takes some of that offering. All right, read that part again from verse 7.
This is the law of the meal offering.
So the meal offering is the grain offering. Go ahead.
The sons of Aharon shall bring it before Yahweh to the front of the altar.
Mm-hmm.
He shall separate it with his 3 fingerfuls some of the fine flour of the meal.
So he takes like a handful of the grain. All right. He takes like a handful of the grain and he separates it. Go ahead.
And some of its oil,
mm-hmm.
and all the frankincense that is on the meal offering.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall cause them to go up in smoke on the altar.
So that right there is what gets put on the altar. And it goes up in smoke. Go ahead. It gets burned before Yahweh. Go ahead.
For a satisfying aroma.
A sweet smelling savor to Yahweh. Go ahead.
Its memorial portion unto Yahweh. Aharon and his son shall eat what is left of it. It shall be eaten unleavened in a holy place. In the courtyard of the tent of meeting shall they eat it. It shall not be baked leavened. I have presented it as the
read a little slower, man, and read more distinctly. Start from verse 9 again.
Aharon and his sons shall eat what is left of it.
So what's left over of the grain offering, Aharon and his sons are now allowed to eat that. The priest, that's the specific families, are allowed to eat those grain offerings. Read.
It shall be eaten unleavened in a holy place.
So it gets eaten in the unleavened in a holy place. Go ahead.
In the courtyard of the tent of meeting.
So inside of the sanctuary complex, inside of the Mishkan, inside of the tabernacle complex is where they would eat this grain, eat this food, eat this particular bread. Read.
Shall they eat it? It shall not be baked leavened.
It shall not be mixed with any type of grains that would any type of yeasting, any type of yeast agents. Go ahead.
I have presented it as
read that again.
I have presented it.
I want you to read it kind of like that. So that you kind of when you read, I don't run the words together so much. Put stops between the words. Okay. Go ahead.
I have presented.
Very perfect. Wasn't that perfect, y'all? Give him a round of applause. That was perfect. Give some thumbs up and some smiley faces flying up the screen. So read that again.
I have presented.
Doggone it. That's what I'm talking about right there. Read it one more time.
I have presented.
Running together again. I have. Read it again.
I have presented it.
Uh-huh.
As their share.
As their portion, their share. Go ahead.
From my fire offerings.
So the Most High is generous. He said, give me a little handful, and then y'all can keep the rest of it. Go ahead.
It is most holy.
It what?
It is most holy.
It is most holy. Go ahead.
Like the sin offering.
Mm-hmm.
And like the guilt offering.
Go ahead.
Every male of the children of Aharon.
Every male of the sons of Aaron, which are the priests, not the sons of Levi, but the sons of Levi that come from the family of Aaron. Okay? Every sons of Levi does what?
Shall eat it.
It belongs to them. Go ahead.
An eternal portion for your generations.
Mm-hmm.
From the fire offerings of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever touches them shall become holy.
So whatever touches them, whatever comes in contact with them, all right? So if there's any food that you're cooking with it, there's anything else you eat with it, that food automatically becomes holy. All right, that's what that's talking about. You know, so this offering in the grain belongs to Aharon and his family, you know, forever. So this is part of the grain offerings, and we read the other week about the Most High. He'd rather us be obedient than to offer all these grains and bulls and she goats and pigeons and doves unto him. He said that he would rather us to just be obedient and done. All right. So with Aharon, we see the Most High was taking very particular care with Aharon and his sons. He said, take this and take this garment, put it on, and then go get rid of the ashes. When you get rid of the ashes, I want you to come back and put on a whole new set of clothes, man. Put on a whole new set of clothes. All right. So the Most High had them looking fresh, like all the time. All right. And then he said, take these ashes to a clean place outside the temple because they're holy. So he disposed of them. He said, take them out and put them into a clean place, outside of the boundaries of where the children of Yasharallah, were living, outside of the camp area. All right. And then they had to change their clothes when they were in the process of doing this. And Moses said that these things belong to Aaron and his sons forever. All right. So then you take the fat. Now, what's ironic is that the fat and the ashes, mixed together. All right. Because the acid, the fat by itself, when clean water runs through it, makes it's called a sodium hydroxide, or a form of hydrochloric acid, which is mixed with lye, Lye, like the red devil to clean your drains. All right, so that gets mixed with into a pot with different types of fat from different types of animals. Particularly, we can use like a deer, or we can use a buffalo, or we can use an elk. We can use the fat from those animals to make soaps once we kill it, but we can't use a cow, and we can't use a deer. I mean, we can't use a cow, we can't use a sheep, and we can't use a goat. But when you unless those animals died of themselves, like died of natural causes, in which case you can use them for the purposes that I'm about to, that I'm talking about now. So you take that fat from the animal called tallow, and you mix it with the same ashes from the water, and then when you mix with the acid, you get like a hydrochloric type of acid, or sodium, like a sodium hydroxide. And then when you mix it, it's one or the other. When you mix it and you put it into a pot, it gets a little thicker and kind of soupy. It's like a thick stew. And then when you pour it into different molds and you cool it, guess what it becomes? It becomes soap. So those are the things we're reading about now. We're reading about the ashes, and we're reading about the fat specifically. But when you take those two ingredients, the ashes and the fat, and you strain those ashes, you strain water through those ashes, all right, what it does is it produces an acid, all right? The ashes produce a strong liquid acid, and when that liquid acid is mixed with the fat or oil, olive oil, coconut oil, all right, it produces a strong soap, depending on whether you use a hardwood or a softwood. So that's just a very interesting observation, because the same things that we use to get ourselves clean are the same things that the Most High is using to get rid of sin from off of us. All right, very curious scientific points. All right, so we have to really look at that and see, maybe we can investigate it further and see what is the meaning behind that. Because of course Yahweh knew that it was going to do that since creation, and he chose those two agents to speak on in this particular chapter: the ashes and then the fat. All right, so that's it for today, Akim and Akwathin. I thank you for your time. I thank you for joining us today. Once again, right now we're in the second day of the 7-day week. We're in the 13th day of the month. We're in the 13th month, and in 18 days we'll be in the first month of the year. Passover is going to be in 21 more nights and 21 more afternoons. Feast of Unleavened Bread is going to be in 32 more nights. Now, the April 18th, so-called afternoon and night, is going to be Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, all right, together. All right, so may Yahweh be with you in the name of Yahweh Shai. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one. And may the Most High bless you in the name of Yahweh Shai. Hamashiach. Shalom Aleichem.